Hello, this is Matthew Miller with the ZDNet Mobile Gadgeteer, and today we're going to do a first impressions of the Nokia N78. So as you can see here, I have the N78 in the front, and the N78 is designed as an upgrade successor to the Nokia N73, which actually was one of my favorite devices. As you can see, the N78 is a little bit taller and much thinner than the N73. The N73 had that great camera protector. I really like that design. I haven't seen any other device with that. Had the nice colors too. It's kind of a red with a white face and a joystick on it. So the N78 is quite a bit different than that. We'll take a walk around it in just a second. Just set that aside. Current devices, it's similar in form factor because they're both candy bar to the N82, as you can see here. The N82 is more of the high-end device with the Carl Zeiss 5 megapixel camera. It is, as you can see here, it's also thicker than the N73. The N73 is more consumer-oriented N series, and the N82 and N95 are the higher levels. So let's take a quick look around the N78. We'll take a walk around it. Okay, on the front, we'll go back to the front in a minute, but the top, there's a 3.5mm jack and the power button. On the left side we have the micro USB, micro SD, the power adapter, and one of the stereo speakers on the bottom there. We've got a lanyard opening and the microphone on the bottom. On the right side we've got a camera button, volume keys, and the other stereo speaker. And then on the back we have a 3.2 megapixel Carl Zeiss optics camera on the back with a standard flash non-xenon. And you can't really tell probably in the video, but it's a brown called Cocoa. It's got the same kind of pattern as the N82 on the back. It's actually a very thin, kind of a more solid plastic around the sides. A nice device. On the front we've got a front forward-facing camera and a light sensor up top with the headset speaker, handset speaker, and then the display, which is very bright, and we'll get into that in a minute and go over that. On the bottom here we have the keypad, which is very unusual, and I've got some photos of it, but I'll try to show in the video. All of these is 4 bars straight across. There is no distinct keys. So it's a small thin bar with the number pad that lights up, and the left there's the menu, and as you can see when the lights go out, you can't even see any of the keys. So let's just try to get it back on here. Oh, I just locked it. So we can see the keypad, and there's the C key, the menu key, send and end, and the 2 soft keys. And over here is a tiles button and the directional pad. So let me turn off this overhead light. See if we can get a better view. At first I thought these keys were going to be bad, but after doing some text entry, I'm getting very fast because my thumbs tend to slide up and down a bar as I'm entering numbers and letters. So this display is actually quite bright, and it seems to be quite large. I think it's 2.4-inch QVGA, but it looks great, and it's really impressive. It's a flush-mounted display, so there's no bezel around it or anything. It really fits in nicely with the device. So one thing, just looking at the standby screen, we can tell is different, is you see on the bottom there's a left, a right, and now we have a center soft key button that appears. Most of the time it's either open or enter or select kind of thing. That's usually the directional pad button. Sometimes the application will take advantage and change that to something else. So we'll check that out in a minute. Let's walk through some of the improvements. As you can see, as we transition, this is featuring S60 Feature Pack 2. So as I start up, let's go up to web. One thing I want to show here is WeatherBug. This device now, it has 3G support for Europe, not for the US, although I understand there is a US North American version of the device coming out, so it will support the US bands. This one does not. It supports Edge, but as you can see, it's pretty fast. So that's a widget. The WeatherBug widget actually. Now let's go back to, I have these folders for communications. There's a message reader which actually will read your text messages out loud which is kind of nice, like saying you're in a car. For GPS, it includes Nokia Maps 2.0 with 3 months free for the subscription, which is very nice to give you a trial of it. In the music, this is one thing that's also distinctive on the N78 that I haven't seen on another N series. We see here FM transmitter. So when you turn this on, you can set the frequency on the FM stations, and you can play and listen to music in your vehicle through your vehicle speakers by just tuning into the radio. This for me will be a huge deal because I listen to podcasts quite a bit on my S60 devices, and now I'll be able to actually listen to the podcast over the speakers in my car. It's also helpful for if you're running the GPS to have the GPS speakers over your car speakers. So quite handy utility there, and it's nice to see it in a second. Let's go to the tools real quick. Show you some of the new settings in Feature Pack 2, and as you can see, the transitions as I move through things here. There's some different menu items. One thing is the Navi wheel, which as you maybe have been seeing, as I move around the center joystick, it's actually touch sensitive. So in some menus, like in the main menus back here, it'll actually move me around. I actually have been using that a little bit, but I actually been turning it off because I've been selecting too many things because I'm not used to that right now. So let me just show, let's see, go into themes, personal. So here's some new themes. I've actually got the N-Series 3 one loaded up on there right now. I like menu view. There's some different menu views. So we've got grid list, but then we also have horseshoe and V-shaped. Let's just take a look at V-shaped, and I'll take you back to the main menu, and here we can go as V-shaped. So as you can see, it kind of gives a different look and feel to the and if we go to back, what it does, it shows you the small icons on the bottom with the V shape. Okay, so let me go back into the tools again. I keep on going back to the grid view myself just because that's what I'm used to, but I may try out some of these other personalizations as well. But right now I can get around with a grid view, so I'm going to go back to that. Just wanted to show you a couple other things in the theme. There's a menu view, and then your standbys. And you also can set audio themes for different noises for different events, calendar events, battery events, enhancement events, things like that. So there's some changes in Feature Pack 2 there as well. As I said, there's the Navi wheel, and let me see, I'll launch Opera Mini here, and as it launches it should have a new dialog box that pops up to ask me what type of connection. Let's see if so here we go, there's a new dialog box for search for LAN, internet, which I have is T-Mobile or T-Zones, so you can select different options for connectivity. Let me just get out of I'll get out of it here. And I wanted to, another thing was press and hold on the menu key down here, and it starts the new kind of application switcher, and as you can see, as I hover over each one, it tells me what it is. If you press the C button, it will actually close the app. So let's go to something like RoadSync. If I press C, do you want to exit RoadSync, yes or no? So, and then you can see it's got the little S60 icon there that's throughout the menu systems now. Last thing I want to show is the camera application. So as you turn on the camera, it switches into a landscape mode, and let's just take a quick little picture of something over here with a xenon lens. As you can see, even in pitch black, it will pick up. My pictures that I have on site online are much better than what this little test photo is. And that's it. That's a quick look at the Nokia N78, a device that actually I've got my T-Mobile SIM in, and it actually knocked the N82 out of my hands. I really am pretty impressed with this. I loved the N73, and we'll see how I think about the N78.